Hey guys, welcome to the Steiner section. On the last time you saw us in an interview, I interviewed Origin CA. This week, it's someone different. He's the owner of Castaway Productions and the owner of the WWS Fed. Please welcome Spartan Stage Diver. What's up, bro?
Hey, how we doing?
I'm doing good, man. How are you doing?
I'm doing phenomenal.
That's
Absolutely phenomenal.
That's good. That's good to hear. So I'm not gonna sugarcoat anything. I want to get into straight what I want to talk to you about. So you've had a major impact in pro wrestling in terms of having WWS break out and being one of the most well-known indie developers. What goals do you want to achieve for the rest of your pro wrestling career?
Well, I guess first, developing wise, one of my first goals was to work with RPW, which I have successfully now done. I guess my next goal would be trying to get a bit bigger. I'm gonna start trying to maybe get BPW, and then I guess like the actual pro wrestling wise, do better at hardcore division. Recently, I did just win the RWI hardcore title, so that was pretty cool.
Congratulations.
Yeah. But mostly, I'm just trying to stick with developing.
So I see you have some big goals for your future. So basically, when did you start pro wrestling?
Pro wrestling wise, I had my first account back in 2012, and that's how I got into it originally, from sword fighting. And then one person on my old friends list just said, hey, you should come to this WWE Fed. And then that's just kind of how it really started. I joined the Fed, noticed that like they fought with the clean tools, which still made you float.
Yeah.
Time. So
times have changed with cleans.
Oh yeah, totally.
Fucking,
but now that I realized that the cleans and the swords were like similar,
yeah.
So I felt like that kind of gave me like an early head start. How things work.
Thank goodness we don't float with cleans anymore.
So happy that moonwalking isn't considered cheating. You know what that means.
So, one thing I want to ask you is, when did you first become a developer? Like, how was the process of being like, I want to be a developer, and how did that start?
So for what made me want to be a developer was this was right when Raw and SmackDown did like the modern day draft. It was back when SmackDown was like 2017, so it had those good storylines with AJ and Dean Ambrose.
Yeah.
I just loved how the stage set looked because it was different. It was like it stuck with the themes that they had, like with how SmackDown was like their main colors were like the blue and silver.
Yeah.
How like the stage that they used, like it worked perfect with everything with the Trons. And then when I started noticing that like pro wrestling, like how developmental wise that it's grown, like I want to be a part of that. And I remember going to the first Fed, Ohm Wrestling by Kai Andrews. I remember looking at the stage and I said, I want to build that. And then fast forward a couple of months, I learned how to operate in studio. And now I'm trying to become one of the biggest indie Fed developers.
Yeah. I just gotta say, earlier today, I took a look at some of your designs, and I agree with what everybody says when you are going to become one of the best devs in pro wrestling, because I know you recently made a scrolling LED board, and it's really fascinating to see.
So with how that's going to work, usually some people, they'll just put like a poster and a decal on it in their arena for like their sponsors and stuff. for that, I thought, well, why not at least like make it somewhat eye-catching, you know?
Yeah.
Because nobody wants to just walk past a poster. So
Yeah.
I
Nobody
made
wants
the
to see,
LED
like,
board.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I made the LED board stretchable. So technically, if you wanted, it could be one of those like ringside TV trons. It can be part of the lighting rigs. It's just there's multiple ways you can use it. It's just a good way to promote yourself.
Yeah.
In case you have any sponsors. So that's good that Fed owners can now like just buy that for only 10 Robux. And then it just makes it better for their sponsors.
Yeah, no one wants to like walk beside a fucking Pepsi logo. And like, but you know, the thing, it's like eye-catching. It's like a neon pinkish color. So yeah, I think you're gonna get some good Fed owners to purchase your product.
Yeah.
So
and who knows? Maybe it can also not be for pro wrestling. It could be for other communities.
Of course.
I heard that like recently, like the Row NASCAR community is like starting to do like trons and stuff like that. So that was like pretty cool to hear.
Yeah. So, other than using real life stages, how do you keep things interesting with commissions?
So for commission wise, this will sound a bit different, but I like to do smaller stages as when I do just a simple design, I can go more into detail and like spend more time on it. Because there are some stages that like use different like spotlights that like move around in like certain different ways. So I'll just use something like that, or at least like try to recreate it. And then like once it's all finished up and polished up, the owner's happy, and I get paid.
Yeah. So, are you trying to open new things, or do you want to adapt as the times are changing?
Oh, I'm always open to new things. Especially like considering the LED board, like that's something I haven't seen in like other feds. I'm gonna start using a different lighting for stages where it's gonna involve a lot of spinning, which will be fun to script, but it'll work out.
Yeah. Tell me a little bit more about that, actually.
Okay, so for certain stages, like I looked back at Wrestle Kingdom, there was a laser light that kept just on a rotate for like people's entrances. It could like stay as different colors, and that just like caught my eye every time, like when somebody comes out. So I have that in the making. It's not going to be exactly like a laser per se, but it's going to be able to use for like controls. So that'll be interesting to see how other feds will use that. It's mostly just a test process.
Do you think there's any easier way to use controls? Or do you think controls are going to stick with feds for a long time and like no other way to like use those type of effects?
That's a very good question. Because some feds, they use it as in just like open up the GUI. Like for Kids Rock controls, for example, you can just open that up and then just click on the different tabs. Well, for some feds, including mine, I have keybind controls. So I can click V and that'll just open up the Tron section. And then I can go immediately straight to O, and I'll just open up the spotlights. I'm not sure, because some people don't know how to like exactly like set up their keybinds. But I can definitely see that like being one of the next things that like Fed owners are going to use. It'll be interesting.
Yeah, I agree. I think it would be really interesting to see how that would evolve Pro Wrestling Fed owners for times to come. So yeah, I totally agree.
Hey,
So
it's me.
In your production studio, Castaway Productions, your prices are hugely low. How do you plan on keeping them so cheap as you get more popular?
Well, like most places, it's better to start at a low price. For example, if I have a WrestleMania stage, that'll be the highest I could go to, which is 300 Robux.
Hmm.
But now that I'm noticing I have feds such as RPW, like starting to join on, SCW and all of them, I'm gonna start working out new prices. Because now I can't like joke around with my stages anymore. Like it has to either be good or just don't buy from me at all. Because I definitely love customer satisfaction, which is important for developing
Who
wise.
wouldn't?
Yeah.
Like
For example,
I'm
like
not a
another
dev.
thing. Sorry, you go first.
I'm not a dev, but I'm pretty sure if I was, I would always want to hear really good feedback, you know? And I'm
Mhm.
sure you do too.
Yeah, you know what else has really good feedback?
Hmm.
Roblania Studios, dude. Good place.
Yeah. Shout out to the owner, Mr. Ashes,
Yeah,
for
he pays me.
giving us a platform.
Yes.
So will you be implementing smaller designs for a smaller price?
Yeah, that's how it'll work. The bigger it is, the price will grow.
Hmm. Speaking of having to adjust prices, how do you keep your community engaged?
I always like to post little GIFs or just like very low quality images, and then like after a few days or even months, like I'll just show a little bit more, and then when it finally comes out, I'll explain like how the design will work, how it can be laid out for like different situations and how you're going to use it.
Yeah.
It's just a good thing, like keep everybody engaged. You don't have to have like a popular server. It doesn't have to be constantly like talking all the time.
Hmm.
But if you at least like monitor it, like make sure that people are paying attention, that's how you'll know that, maybe this will work out.
Yeah. We see that WWS is getting bigger and growing a stable community. How do you plan on maintaining that growth?
I would say probably be more unique, because with what I'm seeing with other feds right now, they just constantly are trying to do the same thing, rinse and repeat. They'll announce a new pay-per-view, post it in like a regular arena, show's over. You don't get something different out of that. So what I'm gonna do for like my pay-per-view wise, try and be different. I recently just announced the next pay-per-view, WWS Wildcard. It's a casino-based like pay-per-view. So I'm gonna
Will it take
try.
place at?
You go first.
Well, I was gonna be joking and say like, would it be like at the MGM Grand or something, like the casino?
Oh, trust me, I've been told multiple times I should try and purchase that. I am not going to do that. I'm just going to say right now, I'm going to host it in a casino, because that's a unique environment at least. And let's just say some of the matches are going to be a bit different. So yeah, that'll be interesting to play out, because it's just better to be different, because then like that can set you aside from others. Look how SCW has grown. They have their unique storylines, and that's how they got popular. Look at RPW. They stuck with the NJPW process, at least like constantly sticking with what NJPW is doing. It's working for them. Even when RWI was around, Jurassic Crash, that had a unique arena.
very unique.
Very unique.
So, how do you feel your popularity is with Castaway Productions?
I'd say it's not popular. I know it's not popular, but it's definitely being constantly talked about. Because there's not a lot of Fed owners that know how to dev. So you can just easily buy something from me, and then you get high quality stuff. Again, it's going back to customer satisfaction. It's just what you need.
Yeah. So since we're on the topic of production studios, what's your opinion on these other big companies that shall remain nameless?
Well, I mean, they're good. They're good. They're. I'm not gonna disrespect them in any way. Although there is just some respectful criticism I will give. According to, you could try something new and be original, not just follow through what everybody else is doing.
So, as we've seen with these other production studios, will you ever, make a game sort of like WWE 2K20 or the AEW game from R2 Interactive?
I don't want to say no, because later on I might consider it, but I don't see it ever happening. And if I were to make a game for specifically Castaway Productions, it wouldn't be anything big that I want it to be. It'd just be another one of my little side projects.
So, since you're such a big dev and you're a promoter, do you think that's my phone going off? I have that ringtone, it's funny. Do you think that your in-ring career is kind of over?
I wouldn't say that. It's always good to at least go to feds, have fun with them. I mean, I don't like to do a lot of clean wrestling. I like to do a lot of the hardcore stuff, which a lot of people can back me up on that. I just think it's more interesting than just swinging a clean, when you could literally be playing with tables that are on fire and slamming people through them.
Yes. Speaking on that subject, I recently saw at an OCW event that your Castaway Productions table stand is actually in those arenas. How many arenas? How many feds do you think you'll be able to sponsor with your table stand?
I'd say a lot, but currently in the process, I'm working on another stand where it's not going to have any of my merch on it, but it's going to have pictures of my stages and where you can contact me on Discord. It'll be smaller, so it won't be that laggy for other feds. It'll just be a good place where people can just easily just plop it down. Don't have to worry about like moving chairs or like just changing the backstage or anything.
That's a really good idea. Very original. Well, Spartan Stage Diver, I have enjoyed your time and this conversation. But that's all I really had to ask you. I hope you have a fantastic day. Any last words for the viewers? Would you like to plug anything?
If I ever make an insult and you're a wrestling fed, don't take it seriously. And if you are gonna take it seriously, cry in my jar of tears. You. That's all.
Like
buy my merch.
Yes, we will be leaving your Discord in the description below. If anybody would like to DM Mr. Spartan Stage Diver about any commissions, ideas, or anything, you can DM him shortly after this video. But that's all the time we have, Spartan. I hope you have a fantastic day. That's all we have for this edition of the Steiner section. Goodbye, everybody. Don't forget to like and subscribe.